This Drag Race. Watched that, and I was like, oh my god, I want to do that. However, I wanted to do it when I started uni, but essentially, the person I was with at the time was essentially like, no. So I didn't do it for quite a while. Then we broke up, and then I was like, well, you know what, fuck you. I'm going to do drag now because I want to, and you're irrelevant to my life, and that's how I did it. Started.
Hi, so my name's Alotta Teal. I love the colour teal. I got into drag via a drag bar in Gran Canaria. Vivian was working out there, and just sat there watching her. Mouth was on the floor. I was just like, I want to do that. Started speaking to her. She gave me a few tips on how to start and stuff, and then came home, brought all the stuff. It was just mainly bedroom stuff then, and then lockdown come, and that's when I was really like, do you know what? I've got no time. I've got more than enough time now to do anything I want, so make a start, and that's how a lot came about. I've recently just done my first one-woman solo show. That was a sellout in a theatre, which was brilliant. I have toured the country with the Gin to My Tonic, alongside Jackie and my drag mum. Been to cities like Bournemouth, Newcastle, Hull, Swindon. That was brilliant. Audiences were fantastic. We've always done shows as where we're going tonight. St John's Sports and Social Club for the Pride show. We did have Pride coming up in Aylesbury. There's been a few mishaps with it, so that's not going how we planned it. But next year, there's always next year. And yeah, that's about it really. So few achievements in the year that I've been performing, I suppose.
Then you got to think back to Stonewall. So that kind of scenario involved trans women and drag queens, who and I believe it was a trans woman who threw the first kind of brick or Stonewall. So I guess that's where the link kind of is. Like that's kind of what revolutionised Pride as a movement. It was thanks to kind of trans women and drag queens, and I think it's really important that we need to kind of like understand that, you know, trans women are such a big like influence in our community as well. Like everybody kind of thinks, oh, drag queens did this, da da da, and they kind of forget that like transgendered individuals were just as much of involvement in the initiation of the movement. So I guess that's kind of how it started, and it's, don't know, it's kind of like nowadays it's just in like drag queens are like the entertainment of Pride. I think one thing you got to think about is drag queens, we do have power, essentially, we do, on stage, and the kind of connection between Pride and drag is drag allows those voices to be amplified and heard, especially at the moment with trans individuals, hate crimes on the rise, and murders of trans women on the rise as well. So I think at the moment that's kind of the biggest connection is we need to make sure we're helping, you know, amplifying trans individuals' voices through our performances, through our song choice, and through our speech essentially. So like, I think that's what it's about, but also drag queens kind of like make it a positive thing as well. We kind of, because the context behind Pride is sad, the fact that we still have to kind of march and protest against certain people who are privileged, but also I think drag queens allow us to do that in a way that's positive, and kings and performers as well. It just brings some positivity into Pride, and just make sure that both the message is clear and understood, but also that everybody's having a good time and celebrating who they are. Being a drag artist is it's like acting. So, and it's also kind of, as I said earlier, to take the piss out of gender norms. So it's a protest thing, essentially, whereas being trans is an identity. It's kind of a psychological construct. So it, drag is what you do and trans is who you are. That's how I'd summarise it, really. Drag is just kind of a way of saying fuck you to kind of normal kind of stereotypical gender ideologies. Like, we don't like it, but it's got a bit of a political stance to it as well, because we're essentially going against what's considered normal and what it is kind of, you know, it's hard to explain. It's like we're kind of the spokespeople of like our community, and so drag queens are very important. So are drag kings and drag performers in general. Basically just taking the absolute piss out of what people considered as normal gender like norms. That's it really, and just have a fun time, get pissed on stage, sing/dance. That's really it then, isn't it, Laura?
Yeah, pretty much. Normally, they always come by me seeing a photo of something. Obviously, no designer's going to create anything that's been done by someone else. They always put their own twist on it. But I've got so much here. Like, this one was made from a Cher look that she done on tour by a lady in Ireland. You've got your signature look. So obviously my name's Alotta Teal. So that's a signature look that because I always try to ask people who book me, like, what is it you want? And they're like, I want a Lotta. So that's when I'll do a signature look like that. This was a one that Jackie made. And that's a Alotta Teal one, which I still yet to wear. Like, when I first started drag, I wanted to look like that. I expected to look like that, but I didn't. But even now, like, I've just redone a Pride look that I did last year, and I looked back at the photo from last year, and I remember looking back last year at the year before thinking, oh my god, my makeup's improved so much. And then when I looked at the photo from this year, I was like, oh my god, I looked so bad last year. So it's an ever improving thing. Every time you do makeup, you're going to get better, and that's fact.
It's an advantage that we had at lockdown, like starting near lockdown, we had all that time to just practice every day. Like, I know I did, like, after, because at the time I was working for a call centre with the NHS, so I was dealing with like LFT, like positive tests and that sort of stuff. And after work I'd go straight to my room and just go, didn't look great, but I did it. Whereas there's times where you're like scrolling and you just think, oh my god, I wish I looked like that, like especially me. I kind of envy people who have money, because I don't have money at the moment. House system originated from kind of ballroom culture in America, so it's kind of like creating your own family when you can't have your like own family because of discrimination. So it's like a safe space for a group of people to kind of just go and vogue and do ballroom and that sort of stuff, and it kind of just like dispersed into drag culture. And I think it needs to be appreciated where like this house system originated from, because I don't think a lot of like the newer queens kind of appreciate where that system came from.
The show isn't going to start till about half 8.
Oh no, yeah, I did tell him about that.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, we'll be there in about 5 minutes. Alright, love you too. Bye. Matt, you always get so stressy on these show nights, don't you?
Yeah.
Doing it again.
You recording?
Yeah, yeah.
This is untapped. So you know that Crosby, she's fucking bitch. Yeah, fucking good job, I can't stick it. She's our very own AFAB sister, which means assigned female at birth. She is a lip sync assassin, and she is gorgeous. Give it up for Rosita!
My name is Rosita and I'm an AFAB drag queen, which means assigned female birth, which many people find confusing because drag is typically men in wigs, but I do drag as a female, perform as a female to have this huge alter ego version of myself that I could never do without the wig and the outfits.
Okay, Elfrey, it's time for the grunge dead bitch herself. She is fucking fabulous,
and she will end up on the floor, I promise you. Are you ready? It's Jackie D!
I suppose to a certain extent that it's not for young children, because you know we swear a lot, we rely on crude humour. But no, if you're finding, I wish I would have known about drag at school, because I would definitely have been doing it sooner than I am. But no, I don't think there's. I think there's a certain age limit to language-wise. But if you want to express yourself from a young age, I see no problem with that at all.
And now swallow!
Otter is my alter ego, you know. She's actually a lot more shy than my boy character, I found, but she's working on that. Shy is in the aspect of, like, as a boy, I've got really good humour, but as a Lotta, I have to watch my humour, and I don't have a filter when I'm Ryan.
Ooh, she's like one sheet. One sheet does plenty, darling.
I think I'm quite similar. So Jake is very, very different to Jackie. I mean, I guess the only similarity is that I'm just not funny, regardless. That's not me. I'm not very good at humour, but it's a confidence thing. So, like, as Jake, I kind of have very little confidence. Whereas as Jackie, I kind of feel like, because it's essentially a bit like a mask, I feel a bit more confident in kind of doing things, saying things, etc.
Even the heterosexuals, pride is so fucking important, and we are still fighting for our fucking rights, even today. In 2022, we are still being hated for who the fuck we are. And do you know what? Who the fuck gets to determine who we are? Who? Scream! No one. No one fucking gets to determine who we are. You are who you are, and you need to be fucking proud of that. Scream for me if you're proud of that. And in the words of Lady Gaga, no matter gay, straight or bi, lesbian, transgender life, you were born this way, baby! Now Jackie and Prozzy, they've been so fantastic. I feel like they deserve one more song.
Go, Jackie!